Hi, I'm Amy with ResidentRockstar.com, and I'm here with
Rich, the guitarist from Cradle of Filth.
And Dan, the bassist, also from Cradle of Filth.
Awesome. So, how long have you guys been playing in this band?
I've been playing since 2012, around about May of that year. Oh, thank you. First joined for the recording of Manticore, the previous album, to the one we've got on the go just now, and then joined for touring after that.
Awesome.
I joined about 2 years ago. I just had my 2-year anniversary actually when we played with 70,000 Tons of Metal.
Awesome.
So that was a great way to have my 2-year anniversary.
Yeah, that was one of my questions I was going to ask you guys. How was it on the boat? I had some friends just come back and they were talking all about you.
It was insane. It was like a 4-day party. And thanks to the guys in Dragon Force, it felt like one for me. Anyone on the first night, they just kept buying me drinks. And it's like, Rich, have another drink. I was like, yeah, okay. And but it was so much fun. Like the 2 shows we played were just surreal. The first one was on the pool deck, where you can just see the stars and everyone around you, like literally the pool in front of you.
Awesome.
That was great. And then the second show was like in the theatre inside, but it was like during a storm. So we're playing, you could just feel the stage start to sway a little bit. It was pretty crazy.
Any motion sickness at all?
Not from us. I think Lindsay felt it a little bit. Lindsay felt it a little bit, but I think the rest of us were okay. It was just, you go to headbang and you're like, whoa, we're just just moving a little bit.
Yeah, awesome. So, how long has it been since Cradle has played in America? Do you know?
5 years, hasn't it been?
Dan keeps saying it's 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years on the Darkly tour, wasn't it?
4 times, I'm not entirely sure, but of course the last one was kind of missed out, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Issues getting the visa sorted for that one, and I was involved in the band at that point, so that was quite a blow, really. And as you probably know, there were similar issues this time, and it was a big worry. But yeah, we're very glad to have made it out now.
Awesome. So you finally got the visas worked out, and you did miss a few shows, right? Like 4 shows or something.
Yeah, there was 4 shows, unfortunately, that had to be cancelled. There was Philadelphia, Boston, Raleigh, and Baltimore. Unfortunately, had to be cancelled. And it's one of those things. There's nothing we can really do about it because our visas only go up to a certain date, so we can't exactly just tag them on at the end of a tour. It's like we have to be out of the country on this particular date.
Right.
So it was a shame, and we were very, very disappointed. I know the fans were disappointed, but we were more so because we were really looking forward to playing those cities.
It's been a while.
It has been a while, and obviously there's, for the people in those cities, it's been 2 tours technically that they've had to miss out on. So a lot of the fans have like made up for it and got tickets for the other shows. But I know it's obviously being such a big country, it's not as easy to get around as say as in the UK. It's like if we cancel a date in the UK, it's like, oh, just go to the next city or something. Right. It's easily done. It's a bit different in the US, so we were very disappointed.
Right. Yeah, I know some of your fans were disappointed too, but you guys are back on tour. So how many shows are you guys in now? It's 4, 5?
Including the boat, I'd say it's about 8 or 9 or something.
Oh, way more than that.
Yeah, I think it's more than that. I think it's 10. I think it was show number 11.
Right.
I think of something like 29.
Right.
So yeah, so we're still in the early stages of the tour.
Right. Awesome. So let's talk about what has been going on since I talked to Danny last. It was they were just re-releasing the demo album. Oh, yeah. And so now you guys have a new album out, which is, what is it called?
It's called Hammer of the Witches.
Yeah, and we were just listening to it in the car while we were waiting for you guys to do your meet and greet, and it's pretty awesome. Can you guys tell me more about it?
It is awesome. You're right. No, it was one of those things where when me and Ashok came into the band about 2 years ago, we were brought in very last minute just to finish this tour, which happened to coincide with the 20th anniversary of The Principle of Evil Made Flesh, Cradle's first album. So we were kind of playing a lot of songs from that album and the early Cradle of Filth stuff, which, truth be told, like Cradle kind of like experimented a little bit more in the last few albums and kind of went away from that sound a little bit. Still great albums, but went away from that kind of early sound. And when me and Ashok came in, there was almost like this renewed enthusiasm. And even Danny had told me, it was like, oh, it just feels good to be playing the old songs like with this new lineup. It feels so good. So when we came to do the album, it was like, well, we didn't consciously write to go, oh, let's do something like the old stuff, but it's just that's kind of the mindset we were in with the kind of dual guitar stuff, the more keyboard kind of atmospheric kind of songs. That's just kind of how we started writing, and it seemed to work for us, and we seemed to gel together really, really well.
Awesome. Yeah, when I talked to Danny last, he said that, you know, when that album came out, the demo album came out in 92, there was a lot of, horror movies, a lot of soundtracks, a lot of really epic horror movies coming out. So nowadays, what's really like influencing the band, like as far as horror movies and epicness and soundtracks and all that, where did like the influence for this album really come from?
I think the main influence for Dan on this current album was the Malleus Maleficarum, which it's a book from, I think, the 14th century, something like that.
I think so.
Yeah, it was written by a German guy, kind of a guide on how to hunt down and destroy witches.
Right.
And of course, there's a lot of persecution that came from that book, and he thought it was a very interesting subject to write stuff about. And it's not a full-on concept album in that way, but it's definitely a theme that runs through it.
Right.
Not just the persecution, but kind of retribution from the witches' side is what Dan's been saying about. Because the Latin Malleus Maleficarum, it means like hammer of the witches, as in hammer to strike the witches down with. And he's saying that it's more in the hands of the witches on this occasion, and they're retaliating.
So it's very much staying with the epic soundtrack theme of Cradle and the feeling that the fans know and love, and the sound that the fans know and love, but it's going in a new direction with you guys, right?
No, that's definitely the way it feels right now. I mean, this is a new lineup. It feels really, really good. When we were writing the album, it felt great. We could openly talk about, but this idea is great, this idea needs a little bit of work. It didn't really feel like there was any ego. I mean, a little bit of ego is good, but there was no big ego going, no, I want this on, I want this on. There's none of that.
There's no one particular person who was running the show. It was quite democratic, so everyone had their say, and I think it made for a better album that way, instead of just somebody being the ringmaster, what have you.
Right. I think it definitely shows through the album. We were sitting there liking the tracks and adding them to playlists and stuff, so it feels like a Cradle album, definitely, and it's good stuff, very epic, very soundtrack-esque, very true to the sound. So usually I ask, what is the best advice you could give to a new artist starting out in the scene, like just writing a new album? Where could you advise people that are maybe following in your footsteps?
Wow, well, the first thing I would say is just never give up, because you never know when that opportunity is going to come for your music to be heard. I mean, we've all done it. Like, everyone in this band has been in other bands where you try and try and try, and you get to that point where you're just thinking, is it worth doing? I love music and everything, but it's just grinding me down. And then things like the Cradle of Filth gig happen, and everyone should stick with it. But as a band identity, I think in this day and age, it's a good thing to just know who you are, know what you're about, and almost don't compromise. There's so many bands, in my opinion, that just sound the same. Big bands, small bands, middle bands.
Right.
They just sound all the same, because they're not following their own path. They're going with almost what's a little bit too safe. Right. And to me, the great bands are the ones that have always pushed for boundaries, regardless of genre.
Right.
And that's what I would say. Just stick with it, stay true to who you are, and just try to be the best possible musician and person you can be, and it'll happen.
I think that's good, solid advice. Do you have anything to add to that?
That was quite hard to add anything to that. It was quite touching, actually, Rich.
It's quite touching. Oh, it's all right, man. It's all right.
That's good. So awesome. Well, that's really great advice, I think, for anybody starting out in the music industry. So what's in the future for you guys? Like, what's coming after this album, after this tour? What else can we look forward to?
There's been a lot of talk of various things. As I'm sure a lot of the fans have noticed, we're coming up for the 20th anniversary of Dusk in Her Embrace. Yeah. So there's been a lot of talk about that. I mean, there's currently been a remix of the first recording of the album, because there was this first recording that was kind of scrapped due to issues with the record label and lineup and the like. Right. So that's coming out later this year, and there might be some touring around that or some one-off shows. We've been talking about the idea. I think it could be quite exciting.
Are you going to be back in the US?
Well, we'd love to, of course.
So. I hope so.
If you get those visas, right?
Oh yeah. All I know is that we want to tour as much as possible. There's talk of us doing dates in like Russia and Eastern Europe.
Right.
Talk of doing Australia, South America. Everything's kind of talks at the moment.
I think the word's out about Russia now. I don't know if it's officially out.
Is it officially out? I have no idea. They seem to know. Who's they? They. I thought you meant like the Wizards or something. The Wizards thing. They know. But this thing, there's loads of talk and things, but we're in the stages of getting a lot of stuff planned. There's a lot of touring being booked, and I'm sure we're all kind of thinking on the same page. That is because it's coming up to 2 years ago since we started the writing process for Hammer of the Witches, and we do want to get another album out next year, I would safely say. So we're probably going to start writing around summer, I would say, and around the touring.
With riffs and ideas as well, haven't we? We've got quite a lot spinning around in the mixing bowl.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
No set songs or anything yet, but just ideas that we're all coming up with.
Just doing it around. It's good.
I think we're all very excited about Cradle of Filth, and it's going to manifest itself in a lot more cracking songs, hopefully.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like you guys are back on the road to, the same old great Cradle of Filth. And so I want to ask you kind of a funny question I always ask people at the end of an interview, and it's really deep. Okay.
Right.
So would the ocean be deeper if there were no sponges?
Oh wow. I don't know about you, man, but I'm like.
Right? Did that just blow your mind?
Yeah. Whoa.
Well, and I'm trying to go for a serious answer here. I'm guessing no.
No.
After all that. No. Why? Why no?
If there are no sponges.
No sponges.
Oh yeah.
There's no sponges.
No, it would be. It would be deeper. I would say it'd be a little bit less deep actually, because there's less mass in the ocean.
More shallow?
There's less mass in the ocean.
Right.
If you chuck in all the sponges, then it's going to make the water level rise, surely.
It's a really deep question, isn't
Yeah,
it?
they're going to soak up some more, but the water's not gone.
Right.
It's still in there.
I think we need some serious scientific study.
I just did it. That was it.
I think my face summed up that answer. I was like, what?
Right on. Yeah, I always like to close an interview with a funny, kind of question, and everybody has a different answer for that one. The other one is like, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Oh.
There is an actual answer to this.
Can I? There is a correct answer to this.
There's a correct answer, but you have to be like good at I don't know, American movies in the 90s.
Oh, right.
Pop culture movies.
Oh.
Nothing springing to mind.
It's pralines and dick. Yeah.
I was like,
I think you're like one of the first people to ever get that question. Like nobody gets it. It's like fucking Wayne's World.
When you said that, I was like, it's Wayne's World. What is it?
Pralines and dick. If you were an ice cream flavor, you'd be pralines and dick. Right on. Well, right on. Thanks for your guys' time, and I look forward to seeing the set. And I'll be down there taking pictures. So
Great
smile
stuff.
and look pretty.
We'll try best.
Thanks.